Hello everybody. Welcome in. I'm super early, well, 20 minutes. I'm 20 minutes early to give us a chance to just chat and for people to see that I am on. So, and we can kind of do a Q&A a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad notifications were set. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Very glad to. Okay, settled. So, hello, hi everybody. Hi. Yep, I'm early. So, no going live on TikTok. Yeah. And, too, Misty, I think there's something kind of weird going on over there. I've got my, hinky vibes. I think there's something weird going on. So, this is definitely, I'm glad we are able to kind of set this up over here for us where we can not have to deal with the crazies because I think something's about to go down. It's not going to be good. Yeah, something's going on. And yeah. I had a feeling when I heard that, Show was going to be at his inauguration. I'm like, nah, there's something hinky going on. Hinky. I'll see over here. Yeah. On Utah, I love it. Oh, Chris, I love it. Yeah, we all feel that way. Yeah. I've got everything set up to move. And again, I had been wanting to. I had set October 1st actually for my move date, but then I had some health issues going on, so that really set me back. And I think we just get used to doing what's quick and easy, and that's how I had been doing things. But now that I'm here in YouTube land, I'm feeling, or Utah, I'm feeling much more comfortable than I was over there. Yeah. There's something weird going on. Yeah, something weird. I'm not sure exactly. Hello, Willie. Good to see you. Swifty Sarah. Hi, welcome. Do you need additional mods? Oh, absolutely, Sarah. Let me go ahead and add you here. Hold on, let me see if I can get it going. Here we go. There we go. Should be added. Save. There we are. All right, you should be on here. So, I think I should have, yeah, it's weird. I know, weird, right? I'll transition. Oh, yeah, no problem. It should be our same group of wonderful helpers. We usually do our mute for a little bit, give them a chance, give them a warning, and then after that, it's like, gotta go. Or some people are just kind of in your face, and then there's no doubt you gotta, let them go. Saying the CEO in the profile isn't true. So, and I really don't know, everyone. I do not know because whenever something gets hinky, I run away. I'm a runner. Because I used to dive straight into the hinky business, and yeah, so now I know when to run away. Run away, everyone. Some things are worth fighting for, but when you've got hundreds of millions of dollars at stake, I'm not going to get involved in that. No, thank you. You pulled it off. That's smart. So I'm going to, I'm leaving it because I do want to kind of see how things pitter out. But I will not be posting over there, everyone. I did do a post tonight just to remind everyone, even though TikTok is up, I won't be over there. So this is where I will be. Hello, Murray. Welcome. Hello. Is it AQ World Volcanus? Oh dear. Still not watching tomorrow. Yes, I agree. I'm not going to either. I won't be watching. I will actually be, hello, Tay. Hello. Or Ellie, would you be interested? Do you want to do moderating over here too? Ellie, I meant to ask you that. Oh, you're Cat Juice. Oh, hi, Cat Juice. Okay, I got it. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names, and then now everyone's names changed, and I'm like, oh shoot. All right, so let me just make sure I get this. I'm gonna have to remember. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Kaya. Good to see you. Don't think the live's working at TikTok. Yeah, I agree. I think it's down. I don't know how to change my name. No problem. No problem. It shouldn't be. Oh, you can mod here too. Okay, if you don't mind, I will just add you in here. I know John's going to be out right now. He's traveling. Good for him, living his life. And I need to grab VC. So if she pops on, everybody, let me know, would you? So yeah, the tagging, and there's definitely some differences. Right, right. Well, and everyone, that's and I've been talking about this the whole time, right? That's really what's worrisome to me is that somehow he thinks, or they think, his people think that there's an executive order that can overturn law. And this is a little bit concerning to me because we have the process, right? The bill on Capitol Hill. We all know about it. We all know the song. It's going around in your head right now, I have no doubt. But there's a process. And, as much as we don't like really what's happened, and as much as I think it is a First Amendment violation, that law went through. And it even went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court upheld it. So, where are we going to be if the executive branch somehow pulls enough power together to overturn a law that's passed Congress and has been approved by the US Supreme Court? That's where the danger is, everyone. So, I know there's this 90-day extension that they've put in there, which I think is what Trump's probably talking about. With good faith negotiations, and maybe they are negotiating with another company, but maybe they will uh, get rid of the algorithm, perhaps. But it's hinky. Oh, hello, James. Good to see you, Jamie. Deleted the app. It's not available anymore. Okay, yeah, I still think it's going down. It's yelling timber, everyone. It's going down. So and like I said, I'm okay moving, moving forward. We knew it was gonna happen here. We knew it was kind of some mania. Oh my gosh, look, I love that blue. That's one of my favorite blues. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, timber. It's going timber, right? Hello, Thomas or Achilles. Okay, so there's no gifting here. What? Yes, super chat. Yes, Kristen, thank you so much. I'm so glad you all are here. Oh my gosh, I've missed you all. I know I was on this morning, but I missed you. I missed you all. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going back, everyone. I'm not going back. It was hinky. Bozo wants the government. Can you imagine, everyone? This is where we start to really need to ask some questions. If we've got this app being monitored by the US government, like more than it already is, like, ew, that's not right. Your old lives last night during my, fun. Yeah, sometimes even I do go back and listen to pieces of my life. I'm like, what case was I talking about? So I go back and review for a little bit. Yeah, something's going down, not in a good way. Oh, thank you so much, President Carter. Yes, I did put my, business nails on now because we're getting back into it, everyone. We're in it to win it. That's why we're here. Yeah, they're really weird. And again, it's yes, and keep me posted, on Orte. I can't Tate. You're always gonna be Tate to me. I'm sorry, but keep me posted on Neptune for sure. I've looked at it, and it looks really cool. So, oh, thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate that. But yeah, nobody followed before is out on. Yeah. So it's troubling, everyone. Now, again, it has been a bit troubling for a while. For me, there was that period of time, I want to say like late July and August, like about a 4 to 6 week period where some weird stuff was going on. Everyone was getting shadow banned. Terminology and everything was like triggering community guidelines violations. So there was some real hinky stuff going on. But then I think for me at least, I just was like, man, we'll just put it to the side. We won't worry about that. But now it's like, we gotta go. Tay is fine. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Keep me posted. Yeah. Really, a beta tester for Neptune. But I'm Android. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Actually, there was someone in my world that was a beta tester for Blue Sky, and I thought that was so cool. I was like, tell me what happened. Tell me all about it. So, you know, I like the YouTube too, Deb. Absolutely, I am. $1 to buy TikTok. Well, you know, it's an offer, it's an offer. Oh my gosh, it's felt like being in an abusive relationship with, yeah, it has, you know, and I'm not trying to minimize those kinds of relationships, but if you think about the amount of emotional stress and harm that we've been on with this roller coaster, with Congress coming in and writing this stuff up, and then having people like the betrayal is real. So yeah, as I said before, you can fight, you can freeze, and or you can fly. And I'm a flyer. I'm getting out, getting out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge, everybody. So I'll be over here. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it one bit. The Clapper app looks like TikTok. Really? Well, okay. Are you enjoying it over there? I've pulled it down, but I haven't gone in. I wasn't sure which. Yes, I do have the Luigi indictment here. I wasn't sure which one. I am still checking. Okay. Well, maybe I should look a little bit more into that. I'm kind of waiting a little bit. Law of the Wild. Everybody, you know Law of the Wild, don't you? Let me write. Law of the Wild. He is over here on the tube, but he was kind of saying, look, I want to wait a little bit and see how, you know, things shake out and then go into that app rather than so many apps. Well, I think he's going into other apps now. So don't forget to pull him on your YouTube. He does great lives too, everyone. I'm really hoping to get him to a point when we can do a live together, hopefully a live stream. I've been working on figuring out how that works. So, yeah, I agree, Willie. VC, hello, hello, hello. Clapper account from a year ago. Really? Oh, VC, did you want to be one of the moderators here? Take your time to think about it. You don't have to be, but I wanted to make sure I asked. Okay, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I just wanted to ask and see if you wanted to be on the team. Okay, Clapper praise from others. Really? Okay, well, that's good to know, Brenda. That's really good. Had a refugee really for most of the night. Okay. I would too. Okay, great. I'll go ahead and add you on here. Hold on here. There we go. And again, you know, all of my moderators, if you've been with me before, you know, just there's no requirement to be here. It's just if you happen to see the live and want to come and help out, that's great. But if not, that's fine too. So, okay, Clapper. Well, I'm going to definitely take a look at it. The TikTok company owns Clapper. Murray, is that true? I don't know if that's true. Really? Come on. That can't be true. No, that's unacceptable. Oh my gosh, that's really okay. So all right. So Clapper seems to be good here. Was a main of mine before TikTok. So yeah, I'm really comfortable here too, actually. You know, I've spent some time. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Oh, I'm here. Oh, you're so sweet, Kristen. I appreciate you all so much. I'm so glad to see you all. So Law of the Wild, everyone. And the other one that I wanted to really give a shout out to here is, I hope I'm spelling his name correctly, is Wiseacre. All right, now this may be a new person to you, or maybe not, but he's really good. His videos, both of these fellas are just incredibly good. Their legal analysis is good. Wiseacre gives kind of like an overview on life and is hilarious. But I tell you what, the quality of his posts and his YouTube posts now like blows my mind. So he just does really great work. Okay, so yes, here I am, Upgrade. Good to see you. I'm so glad you came. Wiseacre, exactly. So it does not own Clapper. It's currently not letting people join. Really? Okay. All right, because the servers are overloaded. Yes, I'm not surprised. I'll have to sneak on there when I can. I am on the Substack though. Even though I don't know how it works, I've just been doing a lot of posts and I'm just hoping that something's going. I think I've done like 5 posts and I just send it out into the abyss on Substack and I'm like, fingers crossed that it goes somewhere where other people can hear it. So who needs a girlfriend? I'm not sure. Which one? Yeah, Wiseacre's married. So, oops, never mind. Okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure about Law of the Wild, but I think both those dudes are taken. Works on Hawk merch designs. For those who are familiar, absolutely, VC, exactly right. So he is on YouTube. So he just does different analysis and kind of, you know, current events, things that are going on, and kind of his perspective on things. So I have found his videos to be incredibly helpful. He just did one on comparing the differences between YouTube Shorts and TikTok. So he went through and I mean, so professional. He like puts the little picture up. See, here I am with my phone being like, here's my two hands. This is all I got for you. But he really, oh my gosh, he does such great work over there. And of course, Hawk. Of course, Hawk. I'm not sure if I even need to put his name out there. We should all know Hawk at this point. And if you do not like Hawk, that's fine. We do enjoy the Hawk over here. So this is an open and understanding community, but I have to keep one eye on what's going on with Hawk, because if he goes dark, we got some stuff we need to figure out. We're gonna need to put some bail money together. Yes, and bellicose. I'm so glad, VC. So that, or whomever's mentioning that, I apologize for that. So bellicose, everyone, is also on the YouTube. Let me get his name spelled right. I'm gonna screw it up. Bellicose. Now, this fella, this creator, oh my goodness gracious, he's amazing. Any question that you have about the U.S. Supreme Court, or the history of the court, or the predilections of each of the justices, he's right there. And he takes you through the Supreme Court cases being argued. His lives are listening to the arguments and kind of talking about it. He just does an amazing job with kind of this full world view of what's going on. So public policy is kind of where his heart is, and to make sure that things are running the way it should. So he is on the YouTube. So make sure you pop over and exactly. Oh, his passion. I know. He's just really, I mean, he's amazing. He's got so much knowledge and so much, he's just great. All right. I would consider him a dear friend of mine. I'm not sure if he feels the same way about me, but that's fine. I'll just be like, you're my bestie. he doesn't have to answer. We'll be like, friends. But he's an amazing good soul. Yeah, his Quaker roots are yes, he's very generous. And honestly, one of the things that I think is really wonderful with Bellicose is that he's got I believe two youngins at home, and he is actively participating in their lives. And I just think that's wonderful when you can see someone who's really there for their kids. In my opinion, I always give extra brownie points for that. So we love that. We love it. We're redistricted in the middle of the school year, and that's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. I think somebody, I wasn't sure, it might have been Willie B. I can't remember. But someone was like, this is the last day of school, and everyone's getting their shirt signed. Like, what? We're just moving. Oh, he's a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, but just so incredibly intelligent. So I would highly recommend that for those people who are interested there. Okay. Yeah. I think, we do good work. So I will definitely be catching up with him for sure. So I just wanted to give a shout out and let you know that these, they're all fellas. They're all here on the tube. They're following, with the exception of Hawk, of course, but their following is pretty small. And I will tell you, I don't know if I really have too much room to talk, but with TikTok at 110,000 followers, and then I came over to YouTube and just a few weeks ago, and I was like at 4,000, and your breath catches just a little bit. You're like, what? But then people slowly trickle in. So I'm trying to add to the trickling in for these guys. So they're not just out there like looking around and seeing the tumbleweed and hearing the crickets. For sure. Oh, yes. And Amanda Rose, of course. Amanda Rose. And I'm going to see where she's at tonight. Is she gonna go? Is she gonna be live streaming in the evenings? Because she just cracks me up. Where can Hawk be found? He's here. He's here on the tube, and I think it's Hawk Podcasts. Is that right? I think that's it. Barrister's also there too. Yeah, Barrister's out there. The other one too is, oh my gosh, Wisco. That's it. Wisco, I've also gotten in there. So all of those kind of in that genre, in that era. She was live on here last night. Okay, I'll be looking for Achaia because man, I need the giggles. I need them desperately. But the whole crew in one way or another is here on the tube. I'm not sure about Legal Dad. Again, I've got some questions. He seemed like a little wishy-washy about whether or not he was going to join us over here or not, and that's okay. But again, I don't know. I feel like the world's not right if we can't see Legal Dad flying around in his airplane. Oh my gosh. All the YouTube. Oh, great, great, great. Oh, I love that. I'm so glad you told us about that upgrade. Love that. Love that. Um, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so go find your people, everyone. And I would say for sure, it's my gut feeling, and my guts have saved me multiple times. Wait, that didn't come out right. You know what I mean? I have that sixth sense here, I suppose. And I would say there's some weird business going down on the talk. So again, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm not gonna worry about it. How do we chat with other members? So I'm not sure. That's a really great question because of how the chat goes in here. I think you just have to say political theater. Very well could be. Very well could be. I'm. It seems like you're needing to put in their other name if you at them, but that seems like a lot of work. I went down with the ship. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there. It's kind of weird. It's kind of yeah. Okay. So you have to add their username. Right. 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 So it's a little bit extra. Right. It's a little extra work, but our chat is going at the perfect speed here, honestly, for that. So yeah, if you want to at them, you can just send a flare up. Oh my gosh. Yes, everyone, get your flares. Get your flares out. Oh my goodness gracious. Hello, Karen. Welcome, welcome. Nope, we're just chatting. I came on early just to make sure that the notifications got out and people could tell that we were on and coming to you here. The only one I'm missing here, well, I think we're missing a couple, but I don't see Navy Vet. I'm assuming he's coming over. I think I've seen him before. Smoke signals, yeah. You know, I always wanted to learn the flag signaling in the Navy. I mean, when I was a kid, because I felt like quicksand and knowing the flag language would save my life. I don't know. Ah. Yes, Suze, there's tons of mods here. No worries, hon, no worries. 3K people, yeah, the chat was, yeah, it was going pretty fast. I hopped in a couple times, but then I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I was looking for Amanda. I was like, where'd she go? Oh my goodness gracious. Just created a new YouTube because my YouTube, oh yeah, no problem. No problem. I've had to kind of change a couple of things myself. So we're getting there, everybody. We're getting there. But again, I'm really, I will not be moving back over to the TikTok. I know some things can change after tomorrow, which by the way, I will be live streaming our new Declaration of Independence, everyone. So I'm putting the finishing touches on it and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be good for some laughs, all right? So I'll be taking everybody through our new Declaration of Independence tomorrow, and I'll probably be on a few times actually to just kind of jump in and remind everybody about the Constitution. And so, yes. It's more secure here. I feel that way too, Estelle. I really do. So in all of my privacy settings here that I have set for YouTube have worked and have done a really good job. So I'm much more comfortable. Yeah, I think we've got some propaganda going on. Absolutely. MLK Jr. Day tomorrow. Yes, that's right. So I will probably put, I usually do 1 or 2 posts. So we will have some of that goodness going up as well. So, anyway, so that's where I'm at. I will be on tomorrow. Plenty. I've got more posts to do today and tomorrow. I forgot that I hadn't downloaded the Hulk, my Hulk videos from my other page. So when I saw TikTok back, I was like, man, I'll just go ahead and download those. So if I'm having a I'm having a moment, I might put up a old school Hawk Rage moment. Hulk Rage. They're so funny. Can we listen to a speech if there's time? Well, we'll see. I'm worried. I'm kind of going down the Midas Touch road, everyone. If for those of you that are following Midas Touch, but they have kind of made this plan of not giving extra time and energy to like the propaganda, like to the bologna sandwiches, because so much of what Mr. Trump says is not true. Then we spend our time fact checking it and showing the law to kind of clarify everything, and that I think we could do without listening to the speech. So I'm kind of that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. And I think there are bits and pieces. One thing that I love to do, as you probably all know by now, I love to print the speeches out and go through them. And that's probably because of I do have a minor degree in rhetoric. So I love to go through president's speeches or Patrick Henry or whatever. It doesn't, he just jumped in my head because I was reading a speech of his not very long ago. But I just love it. I love going through those. And so we might go through and do like a fact check or like, well, that's completely wrong. So we might do that in a written form rather than a verbal form, but I think that's really great. MLK speech was what they meant. Yeah. Okay. MLK speech. Yeah, we'll do something special for that. MLK did so many speeches. He was another one that I have like half of his speeches, I think. And there are some speeches where like not very many people showed up, but it was really some of his absolute best work. So they are little hidden gems. We might do that too. Not Trump. Okay. I got it. Because he can't read well. There's a lot of things going on. Yes, the I Have a Dream speech is very, very important, and my personal favorite one is we've been to the mountaintop and we've looked over. So that was my favorite speech personally. So we'll definitely be doing some of that. We'll be doing that and enjoying that. Not to sell out. Yeah, I am very thankful for Midas Touch, honestly, everyone. I think they do really good work and they seem trustworthy, and that's really what I'm hanging on to right now. Like V for Under the Desk News is, I know that when they come on, that's going to be good stuff. I know Midas is going to give us good stuff. There is the Talking Feds, I think. I can't remember his name because I'm bad with names. He does great work. The Bulwark, or Wark, I'm not pronouncing things correct. He does really good work too, and his team. So there are just a lot. And then there's also the guy that's like, because justice matters, something like that. And I think they do great work. So there's plenty out here that we can pull from. So to get the information that we need in order to stay in front of stuff. So right. So love to hear Maya Angelou. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful. And again, Maya Angelou has made some incredible speeches in her time. She was an amazing orator, and I don't know if that's because of the time that she spent not speaking, so that when she did start speaking again, it just was so meaningful. So she's an incredible. Yes, Brian Taylor. Yes, he's great too. I enjoy him as well. I enjoy him as well. He does good work. So there's plenty of people here that we can go to. And I'm with you all. I'm kind of like tired of mainstream media. The only real mainstream media I listen to is like John Oliver, Colbert. Sometimes I have to mute Colbert. But I mean, the high level ones. American University speech. Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. So there's lots of good stuff. So we can, we're gonna have some good old fashioned fun tomorrow, going through going through the Declaration of Independence, going through some speeches. We're gonna have a great time. Michael Popak, absolutely. Oh my gosh, he knows what he's talking about. And I don't always say that about attorneys, but that man knows what he is talking about, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, the late night ones, we all have to laugh, don't we? We have to laugh a little bit, everybody, because, things are crazy right now. NPR is still good in the car. Yeah, and I'm not going to really turn away from NPR, but NPR was never my first stop anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Watch the dancing fruits. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jon Stewart, of course, of course, of course. So we've got to have that. Yep, yep. Love to spend my day not hearing his voice. I think so. Really bothered me that they didn't report the march on the mall on the news. Yeah, we're kind of in a weird place right now, everybody. Things are getting weird, and not in like a fun weird way, kind of in an uncomfortable weird way. So with Nancy Murray, really, I thought I was the only one that ever watched that. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, all right. All right, everybody. So let's bring the house down a little bit and get into it for tonight. Oh my gosh. All right. So just as a heads up, all right. The next couple of weeks I will be going through and filling out. At this point, we've all been running around trying to figure out what we were going to do. So I've not added any additional pieces here. But we do have coming up in February, these are just a couple of the pieces. We've got more than this. I'm assuming that the Mar-a-Lago appeal briefing that's been required by Judge Cannon, I'm assuming at some point in February we're going to have that hearing if the government chooses to continue to go forward on that. And we have the indictment of Luigi Mangione. I'm not going to say his name correctly. You can feel free to correct me all you want, but for some reason I just can't remember names that well. And then we've got Steve Bannon's trial coming up that last week here in, in February. So that's coming up. And Sean Combs, I believe, is getting, well, we're working on pre-trial stuff. Okay, it's May 5th. I've got that here. So I just wanted to make sure we knew. So I've got a handful of cases I'm following, everyone. Previously, we had been following Mr. Trump's cases, and that was really nice because he had so many legal cases, civil and criminal, that there were tons of legal concepts that we could go through and figure out and enjoy and work with. But we just don't have a defendant with that much legal information right now. I mean, Giuliani kind of, but his is even pittering out too. He just did a settlement. So we just don't have the same quantity. So we're going to kind of spread it around a little bit. Due to pay a big judgment. Yes, I'm not sure if it's next week or not, but he definitely has some things he needs to do. We are on appeal in New York for his AG case. That's on appeal. So, we'll see how things go. But he's got a lot of cases. I'll keep you posted on that as well. Everybody gonna be back on TikTok. Yeah, I'm not. I will not be back over. So let me just kind of, what I'd like to do then when I come on is just update you real quick about the status of these cases. I don't have any big orders to really go through for any of the cases, but I do want to continue on with Jack Smith's report on the DC situation again, because we've got the Blessing Game case, which is a very important civil case. So here's what we got. Let me just update you real quick. This was filed January 6th. So this is the Luigi Mangione Am I getting any close? Am I close to the name properly? Close. We'll just call him Luigi, all right? We'll just be like Mr. Luigi. So, Mr. Luigi here does have a request for a continuance that has been set in here. So, that was the last thing that was on file for him. Now, all of the cases that I go through, all of the paperwork, I make sure is all free and available for anyone online. So if I pull anything from Pacer or any legal site that the public doesn't have access to, it's very rare. It's a special circumstance, and I'll let you know. But everything else will all be available for free online. That's just kind of like how I like to run things here. But this is his case number, okay? So case number set out here. You can find his docket online if you're interested. And then this is document 8, number 8. So for those again that are new, this is the case number. You'll put that into your search engine. And then if you want to see this document yourself, you're going to want to pull up the 8th document, and they're all labeled. It was filed on the 6th, and you'll be able to see your order of continuance, just like we have here, okay? So, okay, thank you so much, Jennifer. I needed that. I needed the affirmation there. I was struggling a little bit. Oh my gosh, for just a little bit. All right, tea time. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a great one, Kimberly. Yeah, Robert, he does great work too. He did really great work during the first Trump administration. So fascinating. All right, so we've got a question here. We've got an application of the United States of America and the affirmation here requesting, he was charged here with these multiple pieces, and the complaint was set December 18th. So what they're asking here is for more time. He was detained pending trial without prejudice, those kinds of things. And so they're saying if we grant the continuance, it best serves justice because we need a little bit more time. Things went really fast once it was out of who we knew. And if you think about any regular normal homicide, those first 48 hours are really important, but we don't really see a lot of legal documentation in those first 48 hours. So, this is coming in later, and they're saying, look, we need a little bit more time. So, and that's fine. I will be going through his complaint, maybe tonight. I don't know, not tonight, probably, but he was charged, just to update everybody, he has 1 count of stalking and traveling into interstate commerce. So that's where the Commerce Clause is coming in. And again, that's what makes it federal, is when you're traveling between states. Count 2 is stalking, use of interstate facilities. So, and then count 3 is murder through use of a firearm. And I have to tell you, it is so much nicer over here to be able to say the actual words of what's actually happening instead of having to change all the words around, because that's kind of ridiculous. So count 3 here, we've got murder, and we'll talk about that. I'll be going through and explaining these when we really dive into this. We're kind of just doing an overview here. Now, count number 4 is a firearms offense. So it looks like stalking offenses, knowingly used and carried a firearm. So that is kind of, an additional charge there. And then we've got the murder of Brian Thompson, and they do go through and explain the details with that and show us some of the evidence, right? Because to go forward on any of this stuff, they've got to have enough probable cause to get an indictment out. So that's really important here. Okay, so here we go. That was the update quick on Mangione. So the next one I've got here is Sean Combs. That'll be the next case I'm going through. And I did go through this morning, but for those that didn't know that I was popping on this morning, because sometimes I just go on at random times. So, sorry about that. But here's his pretrial schedule, and he's pretty, this is pretty typical if he's looking for a trial in May, which honestly, in my opinion, I think they're going to have to push that date down the road. I don't think May trial for him is going to give them enough time to get everything together, but who knows? But here is the pretrial schedule. We've got pretrial motions here, February 17th. I'll have to plug these into my calendar. But our pretrial motions are motion to suppress, motions in limine, motions to dismiss. Any of our federal rules of evidence violations that we think are there, they will go ahead and put a motion in order to get it removed. A motion for a bill of particulars could also be used. I think they've got that at the federal. It was just in Georgia that the bill of particulars kind of was replaced by the motion for demurs. Sorry, everyone. I'm just going off into evidence there. Apologies. Back to here, we've got the opposition, so the other side, March 3rd, and then the replies from the defendant on March 10th. A letter here, expert notices, so who are they going to pull in as their experts over here? And then we've got Rule 404B and 413 notice, which has to do with character evidence. So if they are, how can we help your toner fucked over here? Oh, that's so sweet. We'll have to. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what I can do here. Again, I've not really dived into everything that is available over here. So I'll need to do that for sure. But anyway, that's so sweet of you to ask. I appreciate that so much. So we've got SA behavior here, or MOs, modus operandi, and prior bad acts. That's got its own spot here, and those will get argued out. You can add subscriptions. Okay, I need to look at that. I'll need to look at that. Right. So, and then motions in limine again, or limine, which will be closer to the time. And that just lets you know too that once you've looked through all of this evidence here, you have a much better idea of what kinds of things you're going to want to take out. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. There we go. MPT. Thank you. We love that. Appreciate it. Woohoo. So that's here, the motions in limine. Then the 3500 material here, we've got production. And this is with any kind of confidential information or evidence and those kinds of things. Witness lists and exhibit lists then need to come out April 14th, which is just a couple of weeks before the trial here, and then defendants list and so on. We had a lot of these lists come out in Mr. Trump's cases. So oh, Mary, okay, well, hello, thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it. It's very sweet of you. So we had a lot of these kinds of things for his trial, his criminal trial, but also for getting ready for the bench trial in front of Judge Engeron. So we kind of gone through that as well. And then the jury questionnaire forms and so on. The jury questionnaires, oh, thank you, Rightleen. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I think one of the things that they're going to struggle with a little bit, honestly, everyone, in the Sean Combs case is going to be picking that jury. It's going to be very difficult because, not as hard as it was with Mr. Trump, but Sean Combs, a lot of people have heard of that. So we're going to have some issues trying to find people that are not biased. Will we do it? Yes. But will it take extra time? Probably. All right, Giuliani here in my stack. I'm just going through my stack. Giuliani, the last thing we've heard here from Mr. Giuliani is that he has reached a settlement agreement, which is so interesting because he's already been found liable. So it's usually you reach an agreement before you go to trial, but they've reached an agreement afterwards because Mr. Giuliani was not coming to court for toner. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so sweet, everybody. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Buy super chat stickers. Majority goes to create. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness gracious, everybody. Oh, that's so kind. I appreciate it. So Mr. Giuliani didn't show up for like anything, and that's why he got into so much trouble. So he sat down with these ladies, again, out of Georgia, that he had harmed, and they put together an agreement that he was not going to defame anybody, and he could keep his homes and his rings so long as, oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's a dancing, what is that? Is that a fox? Oh my goodness. Oh, we love it. Wow, that's so cute. That's really cute. Sorry, I was captivated by the dancing fox. Oh my gosh, we love it. Atticus Snacks. Oh my gosh, he just put his head up too. He's like, what? She say snacks. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, sorry everyone. Back to Giuliani. Here we go. So he's going to be able to keep his houses right now from this, but he's got lots of other lawsuits going on. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Oh, that's so sweet. He's got other lawsuits. He's got like a harassment lawsuit going. He still has the Dominion civil suit going. for that. So we still have some pretty big issues going on with Giuliani. But at least the big, huge one that was a multi-million-dollar verdict, that one has been settled. So that's good. So next up on, again, these are just going to be my core cases. If you're wondering which cases I'll be covering now, this is the case of Blake Lively. So she's filed a pretty serious complaint for damages. I mean, there's a lot in here. So I do plan to go through this whole case. She's filed her complaint, and then the defendants have filed theirs. So they have, and this isn't an answer, this is document 1, and it's even a different case number. So this isn't an answer, this is a full second suit coming after her and her husband, right? Because the first rule in civil litigation is go to the money, right? You got to pull the money in. Oh my gosh, okay, it's green. It's green, I can't tell. Is it a shirt? Oh my gosh, everybody, I can't tell. Oh, Karen, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I love it though. Oh wait, it's a smiley. There's smiles. Okay, okay. Blinded me with science. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Another, yeah. All right, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm captivated. Any kind of cute dancing animal, I'm like, that's fine now. Anyway, sorry, back, here we go. So they are suing, her husband and a couple of other people along with her, basically saying that we've got some defamation issues here. So I will be taking everybody through this case. This complaint was like 150 pages, so I'll need to break it up into what's the most important. But, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at the stickers there. Oh, we love it. We love it. I do love the cuties. I really do. I can't help the squirreling. I know. True story. True story. Okay, I'm back. So I will be reading through this and going through the different California code violations. Because honestly, everyone, I think this case is going to set a huge precedent. We've got some pretty significant issues going on in the entertainment industry when it comes to how women are treated. And it's been that way forever. Now, I'm not going to say it's only women, because a lot of people have had problems and have had wrongs done to them. But the specific ones that she's talking about in here, I think, have been echoed by a lot of actresses. So I think this is a good case for us to read, know about, and then understand the industry a little bit better. So this will be a good one here. Oh my gosh. Oh, thanks, Suze. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, everybody, I can't barely stand it. Thank you. So cute. Everything's cute. All right, so with that, those are the last of my case updates. Again, I've got Mr. Trump's case load still, and I think there was one more, but I'll have to look it up. But those are my cases, and I'll start off our lives by just giving you an update on that. Now, the next thing that I really want to make sure that we go through to, not to the point where we're just like sick of looking at it. But I think with our new Congress coming in, it'll be very helpful to go through what they have for proposed legislation. So what I have done here is I've gone in and I've printed out the House bill or the Senate bill, what the status is of that legislation. Here's the summary and title, and then where it's actually at, right? Because a lot of times bills get stuck in committee and they never get kicked out. So we can't even get them out to the floor. So they like go to committee and then they die. That's how a lot of people say. Or maybe they make a comeback during funnel week, but unlikely. And I think it's really important for us to take a look and see what they're actually doing here. Can you please tell them what the Constitution is? Congress? I love that. Oh my gosh, they don't listen though. They just don't listen. Oh my god, look at all of these little cute things. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry everybody. Was that popcorn? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, and the rockets. Oh, I can't even. I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah, it's already very yikes. I agree. So, all right, I was distracted again by the stickers. I'm gonna have to work. Focus, woman. Okay. So I have, oh my gosh. So I have here again, printed out. Sometimes my cats actually sit on my printing stuff right after I've taken it because it's warm. And so sometimes the papers get turned around. Apologies. But I would like to go through again this proposed legislation. Again, this is stuff that's not gone through yet. So the things that are really huge catching the media, of course, we'll hear about. But, a lot of times it's these little things that people are like, well, we don't need to do that. So here's one, just randomly here. It's an HB, which means it's a House bill to prohibit funding to the government of the Republic of Honduras, right? So that went into the House Foreign Affairs Committee. So it just is just a random bill, but like, what's that all about? I mean, are we not giving any aid to Honduras now? So there's a lot of questions going on here. And we've also got, and most people don't realize too, how much we do with the indigenous lands that are not things that are great, for sure. I've been trying to watch C-SPAN to be more informed, but they cut back and forth through stuff. Yeah, they really do. They do. So I want to take some time to be able to go through this, and, kind of probably just once a week, because I don't think we need any more than that, because it's too much. And everything here is recorded, so you can come back in and hit that fast forward button, all right? Just fast forward if you don't want to hear me going on and on with my squirrel moments. But I think it's important. Again, here we've got, just to pick a random one, a Senate bill, right? This was just set out, and it says it's a bill to provide for enhanced federal, state, and local assistance in the enforcement of immigration laws, to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act, and to authorize appropriations to carry out the state criminal alien assistance program. Ouch, everyone. Yeah, have you seen this? Has anyone heard this? I mean, we got a lot of immigration stuff going on that's going to be hitting the fan probably tomorrow. But boom, we've got a bill right there sitting in the Senate already trying to say we're going to earmark some money to give to different jurisdictions to help us with our primary plans here. So that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Professional spooning. Yikes. So I think it's good for us to kind of go through it here so we have some idea of what people are talking about. And we'll see what the big bills are and so on. But anyway, so that was my other regular discussion that I think would be good for us to have. And then, of course, lastly, everyone, I'm still making my way through volume 1 of the Jack Smith Report. We have been picking away at this a little bit at a time, but I do want to keep continuing to go on because I think we're learning some interesting things. And again, with that Blessing Game civil case that's going to hit the fan pretty soon in DC, I think this will be really helpful. So I will be continuing to go through this. So will I be live tomorrow? What's the name of that paperwork to find the bills? Yes. So, my live schedule varies. This is the place where I got it right here. If you want to screenshot that or here. So, I try to set dates and times, but I have I have some pretty severe disabilities. So unfortunately, when I set something and if I'm not feeling well, I won't be able to make it. So, and I feel so terrible about that. That happens a lot actually in my world where I'd like to be somewhere, but instead I'm in my bed. So I do try to be consistent at least with the time that I come on. But as far as the days, again, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. And I apologize for that. I know that's very frustrating for a lot of people. But, unfortunately, that's just kind of the reality of my world that I live in. So, yes. And I know all of you are so incredibly supportive. I'm so thankful for that. But this coming week, everyone, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So I will be, for sure, tomorrow I will be streaming. Now, exactly when, I just don't know for the timing on that. I'd like to go a couple times tomorrow, do a couple of short ones, kind of mid-morning like I did today, and then in the evening again around this time or a little bit earlier. These are kind of my windows of good time. So it's more of a thing that, if I'm having a good day, I'll be here. The other thing, though, everyone, is that we have a community tab that's available here on the YouTube. So when you go to, I think you just go to my home page or my screen, and you can go through and you can click on videos, or you can click on um, videos, shorts, lives, whatever, and then one of those tabs will say community, and that's where you can write me a little note if you have questions about something, or I can write you a note. I've done a couple of posts on there, but that's also where too you can write and say, I thought we were going tonight, but I'm not sure, or are we on tonight? And then that way I can make sure to get that to you right away. So that community board is for anyone that is subscribed. You will be able to go there and see what that comment is, or it'll show up in your little bell thing at the top. You know what I'm saying? So those messages make it a lot easier for me to be able to say, we're definitely going tonight, or tonight's not going to work. So that's one place where I will make sure I'm at. I usually have about 2-hour window when I know if it's going to work or not. So, hopefully it'll be a little bit of time. So, yep. No, it's not private. It's a community, so everyone can kind of see it. I'm not sure if any of you have taken online classes before, but it's kind of like that discussion element. If you were in courses before online where the prof puts out a question and then everybody answers it and you can see everybody's answer. So it's kind of like that, the same kind of format. Good to know. Oh yeah, absolutely. So go into that community tab if you're like, well, is she gonna go tonight? And what I'll say then is that I'll post if I know I'm not going to be able to do it, or I'll try to give you a heads up. So that's kind of where I will make sure to try to tell everybody here, because I can't really send out anything. So do you have a Discord? I do, but I don't know how it works. I get really confused. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, no TikTok lives. Yeah, the live piece is down. We don't know exactly what's gonna go on over there. Again, I think it's hinky, everybody, hinky. Egads, watch that. Oh my gosh, yeah. Already really canceled their subscriptions. That's something too, everyone. I'm so glad you brought that up. So if you have an automatic subscribe piece going, you should go in and take a look at that, because there's no way to guarantee that the lives are going to be going and that we can kind of do the extra perks. So it's incredibly generous for people who have subscribed. But now that I'm making this move, absolutely, I would say I'm not going to be able to do much for sub chats or subscribers only for a little while yet. So I'll get it set up over here. It's a little bit different. Oh, TikTok already did. Okay, great. I was just wondering, because I was thinking like, yeah, you guys go, guys and gals and pals, make sure you go and, cut all of those as well. Yeah. So I will see what I can do over here. I need to continue to learn. Right. Well, exactly. And as a creator, none of us, I don't think, will care at all to see people. And someone, I can't remember, somebody had said, well, I'm going to cancel. And it was like last week. And they're like, but I don't want you to think that I don't like you. It's just, I need to cancel. And we don't take it personally. We just don't take it personally. That makes a lot of sense. We are in such a turbulent time right now. We're in a weird place. So don't worry about it. Just kind of do that. Is there a link to your Discord? Well, I wish there was, but I don't know. There's probably. I have a young person that was kind of showing me the ropes. So I've pretty much forgotten everything they said. So I will need to make that happen here. Oh, yeah, I've got to add to it. So I know, right? All right, so since we're at this point tonight, I would say let's ask the chat. I hope you all know that I talk to you throughout my day, even when I'm not alive. I'll just walk around and I'll think, well, what do you guys think of that? You think that's a Fourth Amendment violation? And my family's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, nobody. It's the chat. I can't help us. Oh my God, that's so funny. We can, yes. I'll get it set up a little bit better for sure, for sure. Again, we're just kind of just starting. We're getting, easing into it here, everyone. All right. So here's my question. What would you like to do? Would you like to go through some of the proposed legislation tonight? I've got about half an hour left here. Or would you like to go through another part of Jack Smith's report? So I don't know. I'm not sure we can set up. I think we can set up maybe a poll, but I don't know how to do that. So I don't know exactly, but what do you think? I do think of you. Of course. Okay, Jack Smith proposed. Okay, 4, 3, 3, 4, 4. We're even. Oh my gosh, we're even. All right, Jack. Legislation, Jack. All right, I think Jack's winning. Jack Smith's report. Okay, whatever. I got it. All right. Jack is winning overwhelmingly now. Okay, I got it. Oh my gosh, I got it. Okay, excellent. New legislation. All right, so Jack did win. What I'll probably do then tomorrow is sneak in kind of a bonus where we can go through this legislation. So we will be going through it in the next couple of days. We'll see what that works out. But for tonight, I think we voted. Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got Jack has won here. Remember all their names right now. Oh, I know. I can't. It's difficult. He deserves a medal. Yeah, I've been thinking like, how can I get him a fruit basket, And not the little ones that you send to your brothers and sisters, but like a big one. You know what I'm talking about, everybody. Oh, hello. Good to see you, Greyhound. I'm glad you're here. Of course, but we'd love to hear. Yeah, so we'll do that. I mean, it's in the pile here. I've got lots of things going on, so it'll just be a matter of we just got to set them up and then knock them down. Oh my gosh. All right, so we'll start back where we ended on page 55. So I have posted my other lives where I have gone through this report. So we should be to page 55. The only question is the very last one I did, I'm not sure that TikTok actually recorded. So we might be one off. But we will start on page 55 tonight and run through so we can do a little bit, understand what's going on here. Again, I think this report's very important. Jack, than the government. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go, everybody. Let's dive in. So everybody remembers, let me put my sticky note in here though, just to make sure. And we will call this a Jack Smith report here. Smith report, volume 1. Volume 1. Man, my spelling is so bad. I apologize. I don't think you realize that until you go old school again. That's so funny. All right, here we go, everyone. We're diving back into the report. So, moderators, I will lean heavily on you to help out there with the chat, as you always do, because I'll be looking at the paper. It's a little bit different setup here, so... Well, yeah, I need to send that man some fruit. That's all I can say. All right, let's dive in. Page 55. The office also expected that Mr. Trump might claim that his consultation with attorneys, several of whom were co-conspirators, should negate a finding that he acted with a criminal state of mind. In pretrial litigation, the court granted the government's motion that Mr. Trump should be required to declare whether he intended to employ such a defense, and if he did, to produce the discovery required by the attendant waiver of Mr. Trump's attorney-client privilege. So what we're going through here is we're talking about the different defenses that Trump put on in the DC case. And in particular, the Jack is saying, look, we knew he was going to use reliance on counsel as one of his defenses, saying, I did this because my attorney told me it was okay to do it. And Jack had asked for that to be pled out as an affirmative defense, meaning you have to tell the other side before trial. And they were kind of hemming and hawing about doing that. So that's where we're picking up. All right. A defendant's claim that he relied in good faith on his attorney's advice is not an affirmative defense that defeats liability, even if the jury accepts the government's allegations as true, but functions instead as evidence that, if believed, can raise a reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors about whether the government has proved the required element of the offense that the defendant had an unlawful intent. And then we're citing case law here. All right, under DC Circuit law, an advice of counsel defense consists of two elements. The defendant, one, relied in good faith on the counsel's advice that his course of conduct was legal, and two, made full disclosures of all material facts to his attorney before receiving the advice at issue. Citing for the case law here, the office concluded that Mr. Trump chose to raise such a defense. It would fail if he had. It would fail because of the advice of counsel defense is not available where counsel acts as an accomplice to the crime, right? So that is that criminal exception. If you're criming, you're not going to get the benefit of the different defenses. All right, so you can't say, well, we can't talk about this. I talked to my attorney about it. If it's a crime, that's not going to be privileged. The evidence showed that the central attorneys on whom Mr. Trump may have relied for such a defense, such as co-conspirator 1, which is Giuliani, or co-conspirator 2, which was, I can't remember his name. John, I think his name was, I don't remember, were partners in a venture, with the result that any advice of counsel defense necessarily would fail. I think it was, well, whatever, I gotta let it go. I can't remember his name, everybody. Yikes. So we're quoting case law here, stating a criminal lawyer has no license to act as a lawyer criminal. Co-conspirator 1 assisted Mr. Trump in using knowingly false claims of election fraud in furtherance of the charged conspiracies at press conferences, at hearings before legislation in the targeted states, and directly with officials in the targeted states. Co-conspirator 1 made a wide range of specific, though ever-changing, false claims of election fraud. Co-conspirator 1 continued to do so after his lies were publicly or directly debunked. Co-conspirator 1's involvement spanned from his insistence that Mr. Trump declare victory on election night to the voicemails that co-conspirator 1 left for senators on the night of January 6th. Here, oh, thank you so much. Bruce Wayne's mother, using false claims of election fraud to ask that legislators further delay the certification. Co-conspirator 2 was instrumental in Mr. Trump's efforts to organize his electors to cast fraudulent votes and send them to the vice president, and then to pressure the vice president to use fraudulent electoral certificates to overturn the election results. So that's a really big piece here. Jack Smith is basically saying, like, well, look, Rudy Giuliani is like a co-conspirator, and that's the person that you're relying on for your attorney-client language here, discussion. Throughout his involvement in Mr. Trump's conspiracies, co-conspirator 2 conceded privately to other attorneys, both private attorneys and those responsible for advising Mr. Trump and the vice president, that his plans violated federal law and would not withstand scrutiny in court. Furthermore, Mr. Trump could not have succeeded in showing that he relied in good faith on legal advice from these attorneys. And this is a specific legal meaning. So not just, what you think of when you hear that phrase, good faith, in a dictionary, but this is a specific legal meaning. The evidence showed that Mr. Trump was not looking to co-conspirator 1 or co-conspirator 2 for legal advice. Instead, Mr. Trump was the head of a conspiracy who sought legal cover from his co-conspirators, which absolutely goes hand in hand with the Georgia case. As co-conspirator 1 acted repeatedly in furtherance of the conspiracies, multiple advisors to Mr. Trump warned him that co-conspirator 1 would not successfully challenge the election results and was not acting in Mr. Trump's best interest. Mr. Trump ignored them all because he was not relying on co-conspirator 1 as an attorney. So again, all he would have to do is pull the witnesses in here to testify to prove that. Similarly, co-conspirator 2's willingness to advocate for actions that he knew or even privately conceded were unlawful demonstrates that both he and Mr. Trump understood his role was not that of an attorney offering legal advice on which Mr. Trump was acting. So I'm pausing here again to remind everybody that he's going to try to use the same exact defense in the civil case, saying that he relied on Giuliani on January 6th when the people who are injured are suing him for his actions. So he's going to say, well, I was just listening to advice of counsel. So we will definitely be hearing some of that as that civil case goes forward. For instance, in a lawsuit in Georgia, co-conspirator 2 filed a false certification by Mr. Trump after having written to other attorneys in an email that both he and Mr. Trump knew some of the allegations incorporated in the filing were inaccurate. And co-conspirator 2's decision to advocate to the Vice President's counsel and Chief of Staff on January 5th of 2021 that the Vice President should unlawfully reject legitimate electoral certificates, an act that co-conspirator 2 had previously recognized was not supported by the Constitution or federal law, was a sharp reversal from his position just one day earlier and happened only because Mr. Trump had made clear that it was his preferred strategy. The office was otherwise confident that it would be able to demonstrate that with respect to all attorneys, Mr. Trump could not meet the elements of the defense, such as the requirement that he make full disclosure to any attorneys of all relevant facts and then rely faithfully on their advice. So this particular paragraph could absolutely be used by the petitioners in the civil case in DC. Yeah. Oh no, no more pointing out when Kavanaugh wants beer. Oh my gosh. Oh, the world's gone crazy, everybody. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to miss that. You're going to have to find something else that looks like beer. Oh my gosh. I'll go through and see if I can find something. Because we're going to have that back. That's so funny. And Clarence Thomas's face. Oh my gosh. All right. Sorry, everyone. Squirrel. Finally, the office anticipated that Mr. Trump would claim that his conduct was protected by the First Amendment. As the district court recognized, quote, the First Amendment embodies our profound national commitment to the free exchange of ideas, unless it involves China. And it bars the government from restricting expression because of its message, its ideas, its subject matter, or its content. So we're citing two cases here. At the same time, it is well established that the First Amendment does not protect speech that's used as an instrument of a crime. Many long-established criminal laws permissively criminalize speech that's intended to induce or commence illegal activities, citing Williams, such as fraud, bribery, perjury, extortion, threats, incitement, solicitation, and blackmail. And then we're citing several other cases as we go down here. All right, so prosecutions of conspiring, directing, and aiding and abetting do not run afoul of the Constitution when those offenses are carried out through speech. Quoting National Organization for Women and Operation Rescue. That's an interesting name of a case there. Do we find beer in there, everybody? No, we didn't. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm drawn into the cuties. Never thought they could make my face. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Consistent with that precedent, the original and superseding indictments recognized that Mr. Trump had a right, like every American, to speak publicly about the 2020 presidential election, and even to claim falsely that there had been outcome determinative fraud during the election and that he had won. They charged Mr. Trump, however, with using knowingly false statements to defeat a government function, injure the right to vote, and obstruct an official proceeding. That is, he made dozens of specific claims that there had been substantial fraud in certain states, such as that large numbers of dead, non-resident, non-citizens, or otherwise ineligible voters had cast ballots, or that voting machines had changed votes for the defendant to votes for Biden. Those were factual claims that were verifiably false, and Mr. Trump knew that they were false. Mr. Trump then used those lies as the instruments of his 4 criminal offenses. Because he used those knowingly false statements regarding specific facts to commit the crimes charged in the superseding indictment, they were not protected by the First Amendment. So, citing case law stating, including fraud in the list of well-defined and narrowly limited classes of speech, the prevention and punishment of which have never been thought to raise any constitutional problem. And then further citations here, focusing on corrupt actions. Here, explaining that while falsity alone may not suffice to bring the speech outside the First Amendment, the First Amendment permits criminal laws that proscribe knowing or reckless falsehoods in connection with some other legally cognizable, sorry everybody, I can't say that word right now, harm, including protecting the integrity of the government processes. In pretrial motions, Mr. Trump moved to dismiss the original indictment based on the First Amendment. The office filed an opposition brief, and the district court denied the motion, finding that the indictment properly alleges defendant's statements were made in furtherance of a criminal scheme. As the court explained, Mr. Trump was not being prosecuted for his view on a political dispute. He was being prosecuted for acts constituting criminal conspiracy and obstruction of the electoral process. And the fact that his alleged criminal conduct involves speech does not render the indictment unconstitutional. So that's a huge piece as well. Because he was not being prosecuted simply for making false statements, but rather for knowingly making false statements in furtherance of a criminal conspiracy and obstructing the electoral process, there was no danger of a slippery slope in which inadvertent false statements alone are alleged to be the basis of criminal prosecution. Next, we have Section E, which is other charges. So this part's really interesting, how he goes into, well, there were other things we could have charged, but we didn't. So we just went through the defenses, and so now we'll go through the other charges that they could have done but didn't do. All right, other charges. The office considered but ultimately opted against bringing other charges. And also, everyone, when I'm talking about other charges here, because they were not brought, they weren't part of this, they could potentially be brought if the statute of limitations doesn't run, which I think it probably will. But if it doesn't run on any of these other charges, they could charge them in the future. Let's see. Okay, here we go. The office considered but ultimately opted against bringing other charges. One potential charge was 18 U.S. Code Section 2383, sometimes referred to as the Insurrection Act, which provides that, quote, whoever incites, set on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Section 2383 originated during the Civil War as part of the Second Confiscation Act of 1862. Okay, 1862. Cases interpreting Section 2383 are scarce and arose in contexts that provided little guidance regarding its potential application in the state. In this case, so that was one of the problems with trying to use the Insurrection Act to charge Mr. Trump, was there just wasn't very much precedent. So this case would be setting precedent, and with this Supreme Court, it'd be difficult. So citing case law construing the original version of the act to encompass treason, consisting of arming a vessel to commit hostilities against United States vessels in the context of a rebellion by the Confederate States. Confederate States. And then rejecting legal arguments that treason against the United States was legally impossible in the context of the rebellion by the Confederate States. And further, grand jury charge describing offense in the context of a labor dispute involving interference with transportation of the mail. And 1894, grand jury charged that, quote, insurrection is a rising against civil or political authority and requires such a number of persons as would constitute a general uprising in that particular locality in the context of offense of obstructing the mails. It does not appear that any defendant has been charged with violating the statute in more than 100 years. So we would have some problems. Again, going through, this would be a huge precedent. And honestly, even though Mr. Trump's cases are kind of thrown to the four corners here, I have to say that if insurrection had been charged, I don't think it would have even gotten as far as it got, honestly, because it would have been fought over so much. To establish a violation of Section 2383, the office would first have had to prove that the violence at the Capitol on January 6th of 2021 constituted an insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, and then prove that Mr. Trump incited or assisted the insurrection or gave aid or comfort thereto. Courts have found or described the attack on the Capitol as an insurrection. So in the Anderson case, that's the Colorado case, right? The Colorado Supreme Court found that Mr. Trump engaged in an insurrection, as that term is used in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Federal courts in the District of Columbia have also used the term insurrection to describe the attack on the Capitol, but did so in cases where there was no criminal charge under Section 2383. And so they're citing further history, but these cases are really interesting. So the first one is, as this court and other courts in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia have stated previously, what occurred on January 6th of 2021 was in fact an insurrection and involved insurrectionists, and therefore the terms to which defendants object are accurate descriptions. And then the Carpenter case saying what occurred on January 6th was in fact a riot and an insurrection, and it did not in fact involve a mob. And it did in fact involve a mod. So that happened. Also see the Munchell case using the term insurrection in a case that did not involve Section 2383. These cases, however, did not require the courts to resolve the issue of how to define insurrection for purposes of Section 2383 or apply that definition to the conduct of a criminal defendant in the context of January 6th. The office recognized why courts described the attack on the Capitol as an insurrection, but it was also aware of the litigation risk that would be presented by employing this long dormant statute. So they're saying here that he's saying, look, we could have charged this, but it would have been, a cluster that we would have to deal with. As to the first element under Section 2383, providing an insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, the cases the office reviewed provided no guidance on what proof would be required to establish an insurrection or to distinguish an insurrection from a riot. So again, I think this is a key piece. That would be difficult to set out in front of a jury. Generally speaking, an insurrection is a rising against civil or political authority, the open and active opposition of a number of persons to the execution of law in a city or state. And then we're quoting Webster, an act or instance of revolting against civil authority or an established government here. And then going on to quote dictionaries further here. So, oh, here we go. I had one word missing. The action of rising in arms or open resistance against established authority or government restraint. Some sources distinguish an insurrection from a riot or offense connected with a mob violence by the fact that in insurrection there is an organized and armed uprising against authority or operations of government. While crimes growing out of mob violence, however serious they may be and however numerous the participants are, simply unlawful acts in disturbance of the peace, which do not threaten the stability of the government or the existence of political society. So I think that's a really big one here. Also, everyone, is to look to see what that intent was and having to prove that intent as well. Was the intent just to riot and to get somebody's attention, or was the intent to really push over the government? So those would be really difficult questions to have a jury answer. So we're here in Black's Law Dictionary and also in the Anderson case. Mr. Trump's argument that an insurrection is more than a riot but less than a rebellion, and agreeing that an insurrection falls along a spectrum of related conduct. In case law interpreting insurrection in another context, one court has observed that an insurrection typically involves overthrowing a sitting government rather than maintaining power, which could pose another challenge to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Trump's conduct on January 6 qualified as an insurrection, given that he was the sitting president at the time. So this is the key piece, again, for why that insurrection was not charged. Because insurrection is a rebellion against the government, against the presidential position, and he was the president at the time. So how could we have a rebellion against himself? So again, I think that's a good call. We're citing the Sitko case here, and every case over the course of over 60 years to find the existence of an insurrection within the meaning of an insurance policy. The insurrection has occurred against, not by, the established, effective, and de facto government. So it would be like his own government here. Then we've got further citations. Pan Am, the district court held that the word insurrection means 1, a violent uprising by a group or movement, 2, acting for the specific purpose of overthrowing the constituted government and seizing its powers here. So that's a pretty good argument, I think. Noting that if Puerto Rican extremists had a maximum objective to overthrow of the insular government on the island, the group's uprising would constitute an insurrection. So again, going through and explaining what that's meaning here. Next case, a Russian-backed separatist group's attacks on a plane in service of overthrowing the current government in eastern Ukraine was an insurrection act. And Jonas Rose applying Davila in finding that where individuals outside of the Liberian government led their respective armies in a violent uprising against the Liberian government, damage to properties fell within an insurance contract's insurrection clause. The office did not find any case in which a criminal defendant was charged with insurrection for acting within the government to maintain power, as opposed to overthrowing it or thwarting it from the outside. Applying Section 2383 in this way would have been a first, which further weighed against charging it, given the other available charges, even if there were reasonable arguments that might apply. Right, an insurrection and a revolution. That's a great question, right? And we're kind of having to figure that out. Insurrection, rebellion, riot, political protests. We just don't have the boundaries in our law because we haven't had a situation like this before. As to the second element under Section 2383, there does not appear to have ever been a prosecution under the statute for inciting, assisting, or giving aid or comfort to rebellion or insurrection. So he's saying there isn't even a case that's ever been done like this. The few relevant cases that exist appear to be based on a defendant directly engaging in rebellion or insurrection, but the office's proof did not include evidence that Mr. Trump directly engaged in insurrection himself. Thus, however strong the proof that he incited or gave aid and comfort to those who attacked the Capitol, application of those theories of liability would also have been a first. So again, just we don't have any precedent to stand on. And then we're citing here a law review stating the likelihood of conviction under the federal incitement to insurrection statute is fraught with uncertainty because no federal court has interpreted it. So pulling that straight out of a law review article, they're saying, wow, even if you took this in front of a judge, they're not going to know how to rule on it. That's pretty major in the legal system, everyone. Pretty major. The office determined that there were reasonable arguments to be made that Mr. Trump's ellipse speech incited the violence at the Capitol on January 6th and could satisfy the Supreme Court standard for incitement under Brandenburg v. Ohio, holding that the First Amendment does not protect advocacy directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and likely to incite or produce such action, particularly when the speech is viewed in the context of Mr. Trump's lengthy and deceitful voter fraud narrative. All right, how do you really feel about it, right? That came before it. For example, the evidence established that the violence was foreseeable to Mr. Trump and that he caused it, that it was beneficial to his plan to interview with the certification, and that when it occurred, he made a conscious choice not to stop it and instead to leverage it for more delay. But the office did not develop direct evidence, such as an explicit admission or communication with co-conspirators of Mr. Trump's subjective intent to cause the full scope of the violence that occurred on January 6th. So this will be another big question for the civil case. And will also show us the difference between, guilty beyond reasonable doubt and then liable on a preponderance of evidence as well. Therefore, in the light of the other powerful charges available, and because the office recognized that the Brandenburg standard is a rigorous one, and then he's citing the NAACP Claiborne case, those two cases go together, everybody. So the Brandenburg and the Claiborne case set out again this kind of like inciting language. And they're saying here it's speech delivered in a passionate atmosphere that referenced possibly the necks would be broken and violators of boycott would be disciplined did not satisfy the Brandenburg standard. In the Brandenburg case, of course, is the Triple K case where the leader threatened revengeance. That's right, I said revengeance for suppression of the white race. It concluded that pursuing an incitement to insurrection charge was unnecessary. Oh my gosh, all right. By comparison, the statutes that the office did charge had been interpreted and analyzed in various contexts over many years. The office had solid basis for using sections 371, 1512, and 241 to address the conduct presented in this case. And it concluded that introducing relatively untested legal theories surrounding Section 2383 would create unwarranted litigation risk. So I think Jack is also acknowledging that if we were to do that in this case with Mr. Trump and it went up to the U.S. Supreme Court, that we could see some serious negative repercussions from that. And I think that's a good call too with the Supreme Court. I think he made a good call with that. Importantly, the charges the office brought fully addressed Mr. Trump's criminal conduct, and pursuing a charge under Section 2383 would not have added to or otherwise strengthened the office's evidentiary presentation at trial. So there would have been no benefit. There would have been a huge question about what would actually happen if it went to the Supreme Court, and then in exchange, there wouldn't really be a benefit to using it. For all of these reasons, the office elected not to pursue charges under Section 2383 or the insurrection piece of the code. And for that, I will stop for tonight with the reading. So we can pick up on section F next time we get together. All right. So what I think, again, I want to continue reading. His report is just so very helpful to kind of get an inside look at what they were actually dealing with and why they made the choices that they made. We had different justices he would have pushed forward. Perhaps. I think it would have been in the realm, at least. I think he would have considered it. But here, I mean, he's setting out there would have been a lot of problems. And we saw he pulled the most solid charges that he could out of the situation. And they were really backed up with evidence and they looked really good. And even with that, with like everything in perfect form, everything was still being challenged constantly. Yeah, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. That's over. Oh no. That's all they care about is money. Yeah, I agree. I think we're in a really interesting situation. And some people are saying, oh my gosh, the oligarchy. And then I keep thinking to myself, like, well, yeah, I mean, since forever, do people forget how rich Washington was? Right? Show me a president that wasn't extremely rich. And I will say, it's all about the money, right? So yeah, addicted to money. So when you think of the powerful people in our country that designed it and that kind of rode out the storm of different wars and so on, just remember, those were the highest ranked fellas in the land. They had the most political clout. They had the most money. They had the most resources. That's how they came to be presidents. Right? Oh, Jimmy Carter. Oh, we love him. Yeah, we love him. Jimmy Carter may be an exceptional angel. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think that's important to remember as we go through this. Donated his salary, right? Believe it when I see it. Because I'm going to really be struggling with anything that he says. So I'm like, man, actions speak louder. Yes, indeed. So will they have enough? That's a really good question. And I ask that question of myself a lot too. And I wonder if it's just because of my life experiences where I feel like, if for me, I have just the basics. I'm like, if I've got a place to live, I've got food, I've got the ability to, get some medical care. Like I'm living the high life. I'm and other people are like, well, 10, $20 million, blah, blah, blah for a necklace or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's crazy talk. And I keep thinking too, like when do you have enough money? Because I mean, if you look at Musk, it's like, wait, what are you gonna do now, man? You're gonna get another yacht? You're gonna buy another space station that like works? Like, what are you doing? Maybe you could help out your fellow people a little bit. Tens of billions on the low. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Makes me sick knowing our taxes. I know. It's not right. And it certainly isn't. It's very frustrating. And it's one of the things that I find myself extremely frustrated over for regarding TikTok, everybody, because to fight the good fight on this is a First Amendment situation, and then they're like, it's not. And so your next turn is, all right, how can we make the most money and get out of this? So it's suspicious, everyone. Suspicious, for sure. I'm very suspicious of it. Never been through true rough times. Oh, that's so true. That's so true, everybody. I agree completely. If you haven't experienced that kind of problem, then you're not going to really be able to see it. All right, everyone, forgive me. I can feel my voice starting to go. This was my second live for today, and I was so happy to be able to hop on a little early so we could chat about the goods and the bads going on in the world. A bit yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know. I smell a rat. I know. Yeah, it's a bit, it's weird. We're gonna see what happens. Again, though, just to remind everybody, I have moved. So I may go back to my old place to pick up like some flower pots that I might have left over there. Or make sure that the oven's clean enough for the next tenant. But I am moved over here. So if you are wanting to get a hold of me, you can message me on the community tab if you're interested. You can leave comments as well, and I have those still popping up at this point. So I can answer any of those. Again, I'm trying to do about 5 of the shorter format posts a day, or three to five, and then one longer one as we go. So I'll keep posting, everyone. A lot of it will be some historical posts that I thought were very important that we can all relearn again. And I will also be up and going live tomorrow. So the time exactly, again, I don't know. Mid-morning usually is my best time, or this kind of time in the evening. So we'll just have to see how I am feeling tomorrow. But check that community tab and see if I've left a message to give you a heads up on it. Investigation turned up. Yeah, yeah. It's fishy. It's fishy, everybody. It's fishy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for being so supportive. Always wonderful to be able to chat with everyone and share some new information. So, yes, I will be getting some rest. I'm going to have to rest my voice a little bit. Yikes. But I'll be back again very soon, everyone. Take care. And I wish you all the best. It is suspicious, John. I know it. I know. Yeah, be careful, everybody.